It's better, but I'm like, Deborah. Colin is often low. I just turned my volume up and I'm fine. I love this troubleshooting. Thank you guys for being my tech helpers. Helen can hear both fine. All right, Christine says, can hear you loud and clear. Cool. Yeah, I'm playing with different setups because I have a different computer now. And so I'm playing the music a different way and doing my voice a different way. And yeah, a lot of change. Are you guys experiencing a lot of change in your life, or is it just me? I feel like this Gemini season has me like nonstop. Like things are not simple anymore. Michelle says a lot. Like every time I try to do something, it turns into a multi-step project. And so I feel like right now I have like 35 multi-step projects. Like this thing, yeah, Helen says, yeah, this, and it's like ongoing stuff. Like if you guys have been with me for a long time, you know that I've been having these weird like insight timer tech issues. And so I was like troubleshooting back in the day. And then I got this new computer and like I upped my internet service and I'm doing all these things, but it feels like I try to make one change and that leads to 6 more changes over here. And then each of these 6 things require like 3 bits of attention in other places. Nicole says it's been a chaotic Gemini season. Yeah, so it's not just me. I guess that's cool. It's been, yeah, a lot. And I'm trying to enjoy the journey. I'm trying to enjoy the ride, but it's getting to the point where like every time I want to do something, I'm like, are you serious? There's like 15 more steps to go. Christine says I feel the same and I'm bouncing and not getting it all done. Yeah, it's like I'm getting a lesson in being okay with unfinished business, I guess is what it's been. But I don't know. Suzanne's been traveling, was in San Diego, now in Minnesota. Family weddings, been good but super hectic. Yeah, Jackie says everything feels like a production. That's a good way to put it. That's exactly how it feels. Like, I just want to replace my router. Why do I need to make 45 phone calls and change my modem and change where it is and change the wires? And like, I just wanted a simple, just boop, boop, you swap it and that's it. Christine's feeling it. Lori says craziness here too. Yeah, Helen says, Molly McCord says there's a lot complete with stoppages. What do you mean? A lot complete with stoppages? We did have that fixed Grand Cross, and I feel like that can have like we're still feeling the effects of that because some of the placements are still there, still squaring each other. We'll talk about that today. But there was a fixed Grand Cross, so there's 4. It's like a T, a huge plus sign in the sky. And it was all of the fixed signs pulling against each other. So all of the most stubborn signs. So think about like the most stubborn part of your emotion, the most stubborn part of your energy, the most stubborn part of your thoughts. Like they're all just like pulling at each other. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's because the sun is in Gemini and there's all this chatty, mental, moving around energy. And we're all just like, no, I don't want that. Yeah, Jasmine says there's so much going on. Mm-hmm. Nice to have a moment to breathe this morning, Suzanne. Awesome. 1 step forward and a couple steps back. Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about some more, some retrograde energy today too. That's a couple steps back. But I have a really good feeling about what we're going to talk about today. Good morning, Nikki. And hello, Anik. Wait, I've been working in IT for 25 years, and if I've learned anything, it is that every once in a while it just requires a blood sacrifice. Thank you. And like, I feel that too. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's like everything goes well, and then every once in a while just change everything, and then it'll be good for a few more years. That's great. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate your donation. I haven't introduced myself yet. If it's your first time with us, let us know in the chat. We're a fun little tribe here. We like to banter and everything. My name's Jacqui Mancuso. I'm joining you from Northern Illinois. Today we're here to talk about what is happening in the skies this weekend. And then I'm going to pull some oracle cards to recap it. Good morning, Andrea. Welcome. All right, so this weekend we have a lot of stuff going on. Thank you, Courtney. She says, I like your hair today. I bought butterfly clips. I'm trying to bring the 90s back. I bought like a pack of 100 butterfly clips. And I know myself, I'm only going to use the black ones. So, all right, so this weekend we have some stuff shifting around. There's 4 things we're going to talk about today. First, Pluto is already retrograde. Pluto has been moving backwards, but he is going to move back into Capricorn on Sunday. All of this happens on Sunday, okay? Mercury is going to form a trine to Pluto. Mercury is going to enter Gemini, and we have Venus forming a square to Jupiter. So those are the 4 things we're going to talk about, and yeah, I'll break them down into more detail. Thomas says, I'm going to come down, went to see a 90s band, Letfield last night. Never heard of them, but that's pretty cool. Feeling positive, that's great. Yeah, lots of retrograde. A lot of smoke in our skies here in the Northeast. Yeah, there's some stuff going on there. It's all over. All right, so Pluto, we're going to talk about Pluto first. He entered Aquarius at the end of March, and this was like the monumental, like this was the moment that I had been waiting for years in regards to this whole age of Aquarius. Pluto entering Aquarius, it was like one of the last big planets that had to enter Aquarius to give us that feeling of this humanitarian love, age of Aquarius feel. So he entered Aquarius in March, and then he started his retrograde at the very beginning of May. So he only got to, I don't even think he got to 1 degree of Aquarius. I think he just entered 0, was progressing through 0, and then he started pulling back. So he's been retrograde since May 1st. He's going to enter back into Capricorn on Sunday. So through his retrograde, he'll make it all the way back to 27 degrees of Capricorn. He'll be retrograding until October 10th. And then he'll move forward. He's going to make his way back into Aquarius in January. So if you've been in tune with the Pluto in Aquarius energy from the end of March until now, this is like a taste of what this power to the people might feel like moving forward. Pluto has another dance back with Capricorn next year, but November, December of next year is when he moves back into Aquarius for good. I digress. Pluto's the destroyer. He is the farthest out planet that we talk about in astrology. He likes to dig to the bottom of everything and just like not throw up, but like take everything from the bottom and expose it to get rid of what is no longer serving us and to empower what is meant to stay. So he is going to retrograde back into Capricorn, digging up Capricorn themes that represent structure in our lives. Structure is like a very broad term. There's a lot of things that structure can talk about. Our boundaries, our limits, things that limit us in our lives. So if you would like to look at your natal chart, you would look for 27, 28, and 29 degrees of Capricorn. So the last 3 degrees of Capricorn, whatever house that falls in your chart, that's the area where Pluto will be retrograding until October, and allowing you to do those RE words. We'll get there. So Pluto has already passed over this area of your chart from the end of 22 to about March of 2023. So I'd say like November, I didn't do the exact research, but November until March-ish that we just had. So there may have been some aspects of your life in whatever house this is playing with, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, just skip it. Just think in general terms. But there may have been some parts of your life that you have let crumble and fall away. Whether those are thought forms, whether those are relationships, whether those are like jobs, items, just beliefs in general. Like Pluto, it passed over this part of your chart. So now we're going back so that we can reevaluate what we did let go. We can rethink our decisions. We can revisit the themes. I'm seeing like a spiral. Like this might be like you thought you let it go, and now it's coming back at a deeper level to give you a secondary lesson. Like, you sure you got that? So Pluto likes to dig deep. Yeah, so that's like re-evaluating another layer of something that you have let go, if that makes sense. Just reading over the comments real quick. Eddie says, I see so much transformation to get people to their actual life paths. Yeah, we're in like the beginning of the end right now, in a good way. Like, I'm an apocalyptimist. Get it? Yeah, this is great. Everything is falling apart, but like we get to co-create our future with the universe and with the collective. So yeah, this is awesome. And actually, I'm just going to throw it out there right now, real quick. I'm working at a holistic health fair. It's in Illinois. It's in Geneva, Illinois, if you guys are close. But it is the last weekend of June, 24, 25, something like that, 23, 24, 25. It's a Saturday, Sunday thing. I'm going to be offering astrology readings there. But for my Insight Timer people, I'm going to be hosting a workshop that Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. And fingers crossed, right? So like there's no Wi-Fi at this event, but I'm going to be using my mobile hotspot because I need to look up people's charts and stuff. So my plan is to have my business partner, my fair partner, she's going to set up my computer so that Insight Timer can go live on my workshop. Because my workshop is like, I'm going to be teaching a 20-30 minute thing about how we're in the beginning of the end. It's going to be describing all of these like major outer planet themes. So just note that. I haven't put it on Insight Timer yet, but it's like Sunday the 25th, I think, whatever that Sunday is, at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'll be throwing that up on Insight Timer so that you can watch. And that is not one that I'm going to record because I'll be on my laptop, and that's the one that's been having all those funky internet issues and stuff, and like processing speed. So I can't record it, but it'll be live on Insight Timer, just to let you know. So what were we talking about? So Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn. If you want to look at where the last few degrees of Capricorn fall into your chart, those areas of your life might be revamped, right? Like the way that you see it get revamped. Hello, Violet. As Pluto re-enters Capricorn at 29 degrees, when he first hops in there in the wee hours of Sunday morning, Mercury is going to be forming an exact trine to Pluto as Mercury is on his way out of Taurus. So they're moving in opposite directions. And Mercury at 29 of Taurus will trine Pluto at 29 of Capricorn. So trines are positive, they're harmonious aspects. I see it like the planets giving each other a thumbs up or like an air high five across the sky. And this is happening in Earth signs. So Mercury, Taurus, Earth, Pluto, Capricorn, Earth. So I feel like Mercury, as Pluto walks back into Capricorn, Mercury is like giving him some good vibes, helping us keep our thoughts grounded and practical. So like as we dive further into these parts of ourselves that are ready to fall away, like as we get into like something that we've already let go and we're here to look for the next layer, Mercury is like giving us a kiss as Pluto walks back into that treacherous part of our lives. I'm seeing this as like a beautiful gift from Mercury to Pluto. Mercury's like he's like tying a string around Pluto's finger, reminding him to keep your thoughts grounded, like keep yourself simple. Mercury's in Taurus. It's the most simple, basic, earthy sign, right? So that is happening for like 2 hours before Mercury literally zips through Gemini. Mercury is going to be in Gemini for just over 2 weeks. He enters Gemini on Sunday the 11th, and he's going to be out of there on the 26th. So literally 15 days of Mercury in Gemini, he's just going to whoop right through. And this is just so, it makes so much sense because Mercury's fast. Mercury is speedy. Mercury rules Gemini, so it just makes sense to me. I'm seeing like Gemini is like a conveyor belt for Mercury, and there's wheels spinning in Gemini, and there's wheels spinning on Mercury, and it's just like, there we go. So through June 11th through the 26th, I know I'm throwing a lot of dates and numbers at you guys, but yes, Mercury is the messenger. Mercury rules our thoughts, our ideas, how we speak, how we process information too. So I'm seeing these 2 weeks of Mercury in Gemini, really speedy thoughts, a quick wit, like being able to come up with solutions to problems just left and right, and a lot of chatty energy. So you might feel called to call your friends and talk for 2 hours more often than you would. You might be receiving a lot of chatty energy from others. I'm also seeing this Mercury in Gemini as like having these lightning bulb, fresh ideas, newness. Mercury is a very youthful energy. So not naive ideas, but the simple, like, why don't you just look at it this way? Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense, you know? Lots of quick processing. And also Gemini is the twins. It allows us to see more options. So Mercury and Gemini can maybe give us a different way to view a situation, like turning your attention a little bit to be able to see more options. You might have not been able to look at it from an angle, and now that is available. Yeah, there you go, Helen. I'll be in my element since Mercury rules my sun sign. Helen is a Virgo. I'm not going to touch that subject because that could go a lot of different ways. I was trying to think about like, well, you might feel it this way, you might feel it this way, and there's so many aspects in your own natal chart. Like, it's really hard to just make a blanket statement like, oh, if you're a Virgo or a Gemini, if your sun was in Virgo or Gemini, Mercury is going to be supercharging your light at this time. But everyone takes that differently. Some people like really like that. If you've been feeling low, then if you are a Gemini or a Virgo, or like we all have, every sign is in our chart, right? When we were born, the constellations were present in the sky. If a planet wasn't in them, that's okay. It still impacts a house in your chart. It still affects an area of your life. So it's just all about how the geometry is going across your natal chart and everything. Yeah. This could be overwhelming energy. But then again, with astrology, like, you get to co-create. I'm here just telling you what energies are available, and it's up to you to choose how you use this energy, if that makes sense. Oh, look at that. Helen and Frankie share the same Virgo sun, Gemini moon. Mercury, Mercury, Mercury. And I know Helen, and I know how much Helen likes to talk. So that makes sense. That's really funny. All right, so on Sunday, so far, we've talked about Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn, that's going to be the rest of the year. Pluto's going to be in Capricorn for the rest of the year. We talked about Pluto forming a harmonious trine to Mercury as he moves back into Capricorn. Simultaneously, Mercury is moving forward into Gemini. Lastly, on Sunday, we are going to have an exact square between Venus in Leo and Jupiter in Taurus. So a square is when planets are 90 degrees away. This causes some tension. This causes some frustration, some just like, you gotta move through this in order to move past it type of energy. So Venus, the divine feminine, is at 5 degrees of Leo on Sunday, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is going to be at 5 degrees of Taurus on Sunday. This is both in fixed energy. So we were talking about this a little bit earlier, how a lot of us right now feel like Gemini, the sun in Gemini is causing everything to just go so fast and everything is ultra complicated. And we did just come out of a fixed grand cross. The energy is still there, and this is like amplifying that energy a little bit. So this feels stuck, this feels stubborn. Okay, so Venus, the divine feminine, she represents our love, what we attract into our life as well. In Leo, Leo's the ruler of the heart. So Leo gives us this like generous king energy, just wanting to love everyone and everything, wanting to heal everyone and everything. Venus in Leo is like so compassionate, so giving, so caring. That's receiving some pressure from Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, expansion. Jupiter makes things big. In the sign of Taurus, Taurus represents simplicity, represents our basic resources, the basic necessities. It represents our money and our skills and what we are nurturing, like what we are tending to in our own garden. So again, Venus in Leo has so much love to give. Jupiter in Taurus is making us aware of opportunities for growth, right? So Venus in Leo is like, I just want to love everyone and send it all out and just give and give and give. And Jupiter is over here, kind of like presenting you a really simple option and making it huge and putting it in your face, but it might feel like it's a waste of time. Like Venus in Leo is kind of like ahead of herself. Like she sees step 5 when Jupiter in Taurus is expanding step 2. And with that fixed energy, I'm feeling this like rebellious teenager. Like, no, I don't need to, I'm past that. I already did that. I don't need to check in with that. Like, I've already been there, done that. But when it comes to any type of aspect, the outer planet always wins. It has the bigger energy. It has the bigger force on our lives. So Jupiter is going to win. I'm just going to tell you that. Also, near Jupiter, very near Jupiter, we have the North Node in Taurus. It's only 2 degrees away. So the North Node is at 3 degrees of Taurus. The North Node points us down our highest path. It's kind of like the North Star. If you want to become the highest version of yourself, just look at where the North Node is and focus your attention that way. So the North Node is right next to Jupiter being expanded in Taurus, asking us to come back to the basics of what really serves our highest good right now. So in order for you to have all this Venus in Leo love to give, we need to make sure that we have steps 1, 2, and 3 in our own lives set. The North Node is pointing us towards things like focusing your energy on growing your own food, right? Taurus represents our food sources. Taurus represents money and skills. So I'm seeing this North Node pulling us toward relying on your own skills, refining your own skills, learning new skills, practicing skills in order to create your own income. Okay, less reliance on an external, more reliance on the internal, homesteading energy, Elisa, 100%. Taurus also rules the physical body. So I'm feeling like Jupiter conjunct the North Node in Taurus right now is expanding us to want to heal your own body. Like we all have 100% control over our physical vessel. It's like we've been brainwashed to believe that we need the medical system to do it for us. So this energy right now, so how this is impacting the square is like Venus in Leo has so much to give, but Jupiter in Taurus is like, hang on, before you are able to give as much as you want to give, you gotta check off these basics, right? So I'm feeling this as like, because I've been there, where it's like you want to give a lot and you want to make a difference in the world and you want to do something to help others, and you have this feeling of like, how can I possibly help? Like, I don't have anything. I don't have a healing practice. I don't have a Reiki certification. I don't have a therapy license. Like, what the hell could I do? And Jupiter in Taurus is asking us to expand the simple resources that we all have, our simple skills, right? So just a few that came off the top of my head as I was doing this, I was making my notes for this. Like, can you garden, right? Like, can you start seedlings for people in your life who don't have a green thumb, right? Like, that is helping. Can you help set up a community garden so that, I don't know, hundreds of people benefit, but like maybe no one else has the time or has the gardening knowledge to do so, you know? Can you organize a walking group in your community so that people can walk and talk and process emotions as they move their body in nature? Or can you organize another like exercise group? And all of these things, like, when you follow your passion, when you follow what is true to your heart and what you truly love, everything that you need just shows up. It's like a fear thing to get over, but like if you just start like a free walking group, people are going to start coming, and people are going to, like, energy will start moving around, and like people will start to offer up things that you need at that time, if that makes sense. That could be emotional, that could be physical things, right? Other things. So gardening group, walking group, can you teach people how you have healed your own body, right? Like you've made progress in your life, okay? You're not where you were 10 years ago. What have you done to get there? And if you have this feeling of like, well, I'm not done, I'm not perfect, I haven't healed everything, all healers are in that boat, right? Like, we're not enlightened, we're not at our peak, we're able to teach from our own ongoing experience. And what I've been through is valuable to others, and what you've been through is valuable to others, because like there's a million ways to heal yourself. So if you just like give what you do have, basic, simple, it doesn't always have to be money, you know? So that's the energy of Venus squared Taurus. So we have Pluto back into Capricorn, reevaluating the structure of your life. Does it need to fit into the boxes the way you always thought it did? I don't know if that's hitting as hard as it did when I typed it in my notes, but that was like, wow, like the boxes. Like, to give love, do you need to do it this way that you've been taught your whole life? Or are you able to do it in a way that just serves your highest good and makes you feel happy? That is enough. All right, Michelle. Oh, snap. That worked for you. I love it. I love that, Wade. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. You guys have been commenting like crazy. I love it. I love seeing the conversation. It was way too much for me to focus on both things at once, so I'm glad you guys are entertaining yourself. I love it. Thomas says I am enough. Yes, you are. We all are. We all are. It's just a thought form. Everything, literally everything, is a perception. Whatever you believe is true. That goes positively and negatively. I saw a couple donations come through. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of those. If you're enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer a donation, they're always appreciated. You can also follow me on Insight Timer. You can follow me on YouTube. I post all of these replays on my YouTube channel. Just search my name on YouTube and that's there. If you want to connect with me in other ways also, my link tree is in my Insight Timer bio. I do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm all over the place and I would love to hang out with you everywhere. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for all this. You're welcome. I feel like it was a lot, but we're going to pull some cards to clarify, to add more information to clarify. Thomas, thank you so much for your donation. Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I love it. So we're going to pull some cards asking Pluto what he would like us to revisit, like what parts of our life are going to be questioned as Pluto retrogrades through Capricorn. And then if we have time, we'll get to another deck about Mercury. Thank you. Eddie says, love your energy and passion. Thanks, Eddie. This is what I'm talking about. So like I'm sharing my astrological knowledge, right? If I were to, like 2 years ago, if I were to sit down and analyze, like, okay, well, I know about astrology, it helps me, but people think I'm nuts. Like there's people out there who think that this is all woo-woo and BS and like it's made up. And I could have held on to that and kept this quiet. Instead, I was like, well, Insight Timer is a thing I can do. So I started blabbing about it on Insight Timer, and like the universe is just delivering what I need. Like this has helped me grow my business to make my own income. This has helped me connect with so many lovely people. So many lovely people. Like I formed a tribe here just because I'm talking about what I love. So that's literally it. You just need to shine your light into the universe. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what you think other people will get from what you love. Just put it out there because we're all unique puzzle pieces in this collective. And whatever you have to share, whatever lights you up, someone else needs that light. Like I can promise you that. Someone else needs your light. Hanik says you're emailing me for a session. Awesome. This is a loaded time. Yes. Yes. Helen says the aliens taught you better. I don't even use that deck or that incense thing anymore. That's upstairs. That's an old Insight Timer prop. All right, so we're gonna ask Pluto, what does he want us to revisit? What can we expect to revisit during Pluto's retrograde through Capricorn? And we're going to use this very basic, earthy, grounded, native spirit deck because Capricorn is an earth sign. So I figured this is a great deck. Absolutely, Thomas. We are aliens. All of us. So I always do group readings. So feel free to send your energy into this deck. Maybe connecting with your highest guides, your higher self. Maybe tuning in with Pluto himself, and we're asking what Pluto would like us to focus on through his retrograde. What is it that he would like us to revisit from now until October? Simple. Came right out. I'm going to show you the backs of the cards, so you're going to see this image. You're going to see the same image over and over and over. Okay, they're going to look the exact same. I want you to tune into your intuition and just notice if anything in your environment changes. Whether that is like you cough, you sneeze, you get an itch, a muscle twitches, your dog barks, like literally anything that changes. That's just your guides telling you to pay extra attention to that specific card. Jacqui's using her claircognizance. She already knows a couple numbers in her mind. We have 3 cards. I love it. 7, maybe a 7 has to do with the page number or something. You're never wrong. So what else? If you don't get any hits, the whole reading is just for you. And the whole reading is just as important as everything else. So here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know in the chat which cards you're working with, and I'm going to show them one more time just in case. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let's see which cards you guys are feeling. Michelle, 1 and 6. I love that. Helen, 2, 3, 1. Nikki, 3 and 3. Susie, 2. AJ, 1 and 3. Jennifer, 2, 1, 3. Oh, Michelle, 1 and 3. Maybe that 6 was a Freudian slip. Eddie, 1. Elisa, 2 and 3. Anique, 3. Thomas, 2. Christine, 3. Deborah, 1. Suzanne, 3 and 2. Carolyn, 3. Lori, 3. Thomas, 2. A bit of 3. Shauna, 3. Sarah, all 3. Lovely. Violet, 1 and 2. Fur baby transition last night, and I feel like he's been sending messages. Oh, sending you love, Violet. Christine's working with 3. Carrie's working with 3. Michelle's sending some love to Violet. Oh, let's see what Fur baby has to say. All right, guys. Card number 1 today brings us, we're asking Pluto what he wants us to revisit from now until October. Card number 1 brings us the Sacred Mountain. Be still and take the time to move into the silent place within yourself. Locate your internal source of power. Meditate. Wait. Do not move forward until it feels right. Surrender to stillness. Do not take action. If you observe rather than react, you claim your power. From the vantage point of the sacred mountain, your power grows. In silence, you'll find your sacred witness. It is the dwelling place of your soul. In peace, seek and discover your truth. Move past the bustle and clatter of life into sweet quietude. If you're in pain, don't lash out. Go into it until you find the source so that it can be healed. Resist the temptation to indulge in feelings of stress, urgency, and emergency. Your power is born in silence. This peace gives birth to your serenity. Seek solitude to listen to the voice of your higher self and awaken your inner wisdom. I feel like that's just a very basic way of saying stop, pause, just wait. Don't react. I'm trying to put this quantitatively, give you an example of what that might look like, but I really would like you guys, if you do know how to find where 29 to 27 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart, look to the center of your natal wheel and look at what house that is in. And that's the area of your life right now that's asking for a pause. That's the area of your life where it might feel like stuff is being stirred around and things are being dug up and things are being exposed that you didn't see before. And when all of that is happening, internally or worldly, okay? Because astrology impacts our internal lives and also what's going on the world stage. So if there's stuff that is coming up that is inflicting emotion within you, right? That's such a basic way to say it. But if something comes to light that makes you furious, or it makes you extremely saddened, or anything, if it just throws you into an uncomfortable emotion, this card wants you to know, just sit with it and dive into it. A lot of the stuff that we're afraid of isn't that scary. It's just because we're leaving it unknown. And the more you understand it, the more you sit with it, the more you dive into it, right? Pluto is the destroyer. Pluto wants to get down in there to see what's causing all of this. And usually it's just a little something dumb. So during Pluto's retrograde through Capricorn, specifically if you know what house this is happening within, that theme of your life, just pause. It doesn't mean you have to pause all the way through October. When you know it's time to move on, it's time to move on. But I feel like this is an uncomfortable, just sit and be. Yeah, it's resonating with you guys a lot. Love the sacred mountain pull. Stop and take a moment to get comfortable with yourself. Yup. Deborah, you're looking for the last degrees of Capricorn. Suzanne, ninth house is all about higher thinking, your philosophy on life. Just leave it at that. Christine, 12th house, it's also moving through my 12th house. 12th house is self-undoing. I kind of feel like it's like getting easier to throw out things that I used to think were my identity. Totally resonates, Eddie. I love it. 5th house, Carrie. Children, creation, Jackie as well. Eliza, you did not miss too much. If you ever come late to one of my sessions, you're always here on time. You popped in at the exact right time. We're looking at the very end of where Capricorn is in our chart, 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn, because that's where Pluto will be retrograding until October. Capricorn, first house. First house is all about sense of self, your ego, like what you think you are. Capricorn is somewhere in everyone's chart because the chart is the whole zodiac circle. So even if you don't have any planets in Capricorn, Capricorn is still within one of your houses. It's the whole thing. Second house is resources, finances, maybe the way that you've been handling your skills. Card number 2 with what Pluto would like us to revisit. First was the sacred mountain, sit still, do not react, dive in. Second card is spirit of fire. Transformation, take risks, face your fears, break out of old patterns and conventions. Just because you've always done something in the past doesn't mean that you need to continue to do it in the future. Try something new. Change your routines and habits. Reach out in new directions. The Thunderbird is rising in you. Out of the ashes come new growth and new beginnings. In native cultures, fire was thought to be a gift from the Creator that carried the power of renewal. Fire can maintain life, and it can destroy it. It is the warmth of the tribal fire, but it's also the thundering lightning bolt cast down from the sky. It can purify and transform, and it can annihilate. Fire represents your life force, the spark of life within you, and also the pure white light within you. The spirit of fire invites you to take some risks and face your fears. We often are reacting to situations because of preconditioned responses based on our self-generating definition of self. I'm going to read that sentence again because I feel like that's the key to this card right here. We often are reacting to situations because of preconditioned responses based on our self-generating definition of self. Every time you change an old habit, even changing to a different breakfast food, it helps you begin to step out of a limiting definition of self. Purification by fire creates transformation. Take care to keep your energy in balance. Fire that burns too brightly burns out, but a fire that's left to smolder dies. Carolyn, this gave you chills. I love it. Yeah, something different. You got to look at whatever is happening in this area of your life a different way. The reactions, reactions never really serve us. Reactions are ego-based. Reactions are us just like knee-jerk fight or flight response. It's the responding to situations that makes it beautiful, that makes it that much easier. When you react, right? Reacting is like someone talks to you in a certain tone of voice and you get pissed because your mom used to talk to you in that tone of voice. That's a reaction. That is acting from your perceived sense of self. We're often reacting to situations because of preconditioned responses based on our self-generating definition of self. We've generated, right? When someone is snooty with me, that means that I'm being accused of being bad. When in reality, sure, when, parent-child situation, like sure, maybe that was the case because you were maybe being an asshole as a 4-year-old, but just kidding. In your current situation, maybe that person is giving you attitude because they're stressed out about something, and you don't need to take it that way because it has nothing to do with you, and you're choosing to react to what you think they are projecting onto you, even though it might have nothing to do with you. Blah, blah, blah. That's a really specific example, but I hope you understand the energy that I'm talking about. Reacting, right? Just because something happens that invokes fear in you doesn't mean that that is bad. It means that it's triggering a wound inside of you that's ready to be healed. If something's being triggered, that's literally the universe showing you like, hey, here's that wound again. And then it's giving you the opportunity. Do you want to heal it right now? Or do you want to continue to be triggered by that? That's what this is talking about, sitting with your emotions. When something triggers you, sit with it, and this card is asking you to see it in a different way. Choose to respond a different way. Suzanne needed to hear this card. Oh, Jennifer Lindsay, never late. You're never late to my sessions. You're right on time. This is what your guides wanted you to walk into. Those cards are beautiful. What's the deck? Melody. It is the Native Spirit Oracle deck. Card number 3 of asking Pluto what he would like us to revisit during his retrograde from now until October. Tribal Spirit Dancer. Those birds, they captivated me. I couldn't look away for a second. That was interesting. Let go. Say yes to life. Be dancing. Dance to your heart's desire. Unfurl your wings and fly. Cast aside conventions and restrictions. Tune into the rhythm of life. Laugh, explore, go beyond your predictable behavior. Sometimes life is messy and chaotic, and that's okay. Leave the dishes. Run outside in the sprinklers. Oh, chills. You are on the planet to be free. You don't always need to meet the expectations of others. You are here to explore, expand, and step into your extraordinary self. Of course, there are times to live an ordinary life, but there are also times to joyously fling your arms to the heavens and dance. Choose life on your terms. Clear out mental and emotional clutter. Move beyond those situations that you have outgrown. Don't accept the rules you have placed on yourself or that others have placed on you. This is your time. Don't delay listening to the rhythm of your heart and following your dreams. 2 fed right into 3. They all fed right into each other, in my opinion. This is so much Pluto retrograde in Capricorn energy. Capricorn rules our structures, our boundaries. Pluto is moving backwards, digging all of that up. How are you limiting yourself? How is your routine holding you in? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you structuring your life in a way that is keeping you small? What part of your life can you allow yourself to break out and dance with it? It's okay to be free. It's okay to leave the dishes and go play in the sprinkler. The more you bring yourself into that expanded light energy that you are, right? The more time that you spend doing things that truly make you happy, the more that comes. That's what it is. You attract more of those experiences the more that you choose to live in those experiences. It's all about rethinking the way that you think your life is supposed to be. This too, the Spirit of Fire was inviting us to not react in the same way. And I feel like this is saying when there is an opportunity to go out and play, such as the dishes needing to be done, your reaction might be, well, I need a tidy house because if I don't have a tidy house when I go to bed, it's going to drive me nuts and blah, blah, blah. Like, this card is inviting you to let that type of thought go and just joy. Just do joy. Be the joy. Look at the color scheme on all of these cards also. What do you get from it? I feel nighttime. I feel, root chakra, but I feel like that's like an obvious one. I feel very earthy, grounded energy here. I feel so much just like so much Capricorn. This is earthy, but it's not Taurus earthy. I do feel that like evolved practicality. I feel like that doesn't make sense. Dusk, drawing to a close of the current cycle. Thank you, Melody. You put my energy into words. Yeah, cool. Sit with it. Whatever Pluto might be digging up through his retrograde, sit with it. Allow yourself to see it in a different way, and then do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. You don't need to lament on the scary and the boogeyman and all that stuff. If something is presented to you that's like, oh my god, my whole life is changing right now, 999, it's Friday, June 9th, and it was 9:09 as I looked at the clock. Dusk right before the ending, 999. Oh, I love my life. If when something is presented to you that makes you question everything in your reality, just sit with it and just the more you see your light, the more you know your light, the more you spend your time building your light, doing what makes you happy, not what makes everyone else happy, the less those external things matter, the less those external things have an impact on you. The more you're able to just be with your inner self, and the external world can happen around you. Stuff is nuts in the world right now. How much do I pay attention to it? 0%. Because it doesn't, unless it's impacting my world without me needing to look at the news, why should it bring me down? Good question. Ooh, Thomas, I don't know. I'm glad Susie could answer. Christine, Jessica, thank you for your donations. There were also a couple more coming through when I was rambling. Thank you for your donations. Just look past, what? Just look past, hit the planets out there? Just look. What? I think that was a typo. Thank you, Lindsay. Do you guys want one more card in the mix, or do you think it would be confusing? Thank you, Thomas. I'm having a hard time deciding. This was like so perfect. Do we want a Mercury card? Just like the 2 weeks in Mercury. So like, how can Mercury support this? Yeah, because this is all about our thoughts. Yeah, we'll do our wrap-up card. Single pull. So Sacred Mountain wants us to sit with everything. Don't react, just sit. Spirit of Fire asks us to approach the situation from a different perspective. You might need that pause. Pause and breathe, then act, and act in a way that expands you. How can Mercury in Gemini support us as Pluto starts his retrograde back into Capricorn? We're going to pull from the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck. And actually, I was thinking about this as I pulled this last card and the birds were mesmerizing me. This is like a fairy deck, so lots of wings and flighty energy and Mercury and all that stuff. Heather, I do chart readings. My website is in my Insight Timer About section, if you'd like to check it out there. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Jennifer. I made that like over a year ago and I forgot. I do have Astrology 101 on Insight Timer. It's a 13-day audio course teaching you the basics of astrology so you can look at your chart and have an idea of what I'm talking about when I go on here. All right, so one last card. How can Mercury support us through this Pluto retrograde transit? Feel free to send your energy into this deck. And these are quick cards. They're very short messages, which is very Mercury and Gemini energy. Christine says, I just saw all the birds on the Spirit Tribal Dancer, and that's why I picked card 3. Birds chirp so loud right then. I love it. So how are you going to expand your energy and not care what other people think? Let go of the obligations of being dutiful and live for yourself. Oh, even like saying it out loud, I still have that like guilt trip shadow in me. I love it. Thank you, Rhonda, for your donation. Christine, also the course on Insight Timer, very good. She's a great teacher. Thank you. I try. Okay, so how can Mercury support us? This is perfect. This is perfect. Perfect. How can Mercury support us as Pluto walks back into Capricorn while we're changing a whole bunch of shit? Letting go. That's how Mercury can support us, is letting go. One quick thing about Gemini, because Mercury is moving through Gemini. Gemini is the mutable air sign, so it's literally the energy of changing your mind. Letting go. Learn to let go. Life is constantly changing. Nothing ever stays the same. People come and then they go. Some exit quietly without you realizing it, and some go with a loud bang. In the constant flow and changes of life, we get stuck with unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships, unrewarding jobs, unrealized dreams, and the like. You may have created an unhealthy attachment or bond to something or someone that no longer serves you in a positive way. You have the innate courage to acknowledge the situation and know that change is inevitable. It also brings with it newfound freedom and spiritual growth. There's a mantra with this card, and if someone would like to type it in the chat, I'll say it a couple times. I am ready to free myself from situations that no longer serve me. I am ready to free myself from situations that no longer serve me. Lots of, everyone is resonating with this. I'm resonating with this. Got the butterfly energy, got the spider energy, letting us know that everything is connected. I must go. I have things to do. I can't hang here forever, although I would absolutely love to. Let me look. I don't know when I'm back. I think I'm back next Thursday. Yep. Next week, Thursday and Friday, I'll be back on Insight Timer, same time, same place, 8:15 Central Time. Enjoy all the shifts that happen this weekend. Just sit with the uncomfortable things. They have so much to teach you. Don't be afraid of the lesson. It's all for your highest and greatest good. Let things go. Clear the energy, right? Clear, burn. Thank you so much for all the donations that came through. Much appreciated. I'm sorry I didn't get to name every single one, but I do always go through and I say thank you to you guys, and I type you a little message. So look for those. I don't know how you see them, but I always spend time doing that because I appreciate all of you. Sending love to all. Namaste. Thank you all for helping me make the world a better place.